The Fallout 4 Next Gen update is here, and if you want the best start in Fallout 4, perhaps you've never even played it before, you've come to the right place. Starting in character creation, we'll go over the best stats, how to get the best weapons early, where to find power armor and fusion cores to power it, easy methods to get lots of caps, unlimited ammunition and experience, and lots of tips and tricks along the way. Whether you're a new player or an old player, this is going to be a useful video for you to watch. Now, before you choose your character's starting attributes, you should know that each point of intelligence you have will increase your experience gain by another 3%. So if you start with 10 intelligence, you'll get 30% more experience for everything you do. Now, as there's no level cap in Fallout 4, this means that as you level up, all of your attributes can eventually be increased to level 10. This means that if you start with 10 intelligence, you'll be able to max out all of your other stats and perks in much less time. I'll also be showing you a power leveling method at the end of this video. Up to you whether you exploit it or not. Beyond that, strength is going to allow you to carry more equipment, but you can just wear power armor to increase your carry weight or rely on companions to carry your stuff. And then you have endurance, which increases your health. High charisma will also unlock access to a lot of speech dialogue options you otherwise might have missed. But now we're going to fast forward to when we're leaving the vault and entering into the wasteland. And I am curious, if you've been watching the Fallout TV show, who your favorite character is. I'm actually going to be giving away these free miniature dioramas that I painted up in a future video from the link in the description below. But now let's begin. Welcome back to the Commonwealth, which is now a wasteland, and right in front of us stands Sanctuary, which can later be turned into a settlement. But before we get to that, we actually want to turn around and loot this little cabin here. There's a lot of yellow boxes around here, and if you loot them, we can get some Rad X along with a first aid stim pack and purified water. There's also a red button here, and if you actually press that and then go and stand back on the entrance to the vault, it will take you back down inside. And we will be doing that later because there's a legendary weapon we can pick up early, but we can't get it yet. So instead, we're going to come over to these wooden crates, and we're just going to, well, that's pretty damn good to get this early on. We're going to grab everything useful out of these crates and then carry on over here to this blue building where we can find some more 10mm ammunition just on the desk here. Now, if you're playing on survival mode, you're going to want to be picking up all of the food, like the cram, for example. And even while you're not on survival mode, they're just great to eat, because as you're about to see, it's going to regenerate our health on the bottom left there instead of us wasting a stim pack. Now we're going to head down the hill here, which is actually the location we ran to when the vault initially opened during the nukes falling. And you're also going to come across a few plants like the one just here, and especially by the riverbed, you're going to see a bunch of leaves. And if you pick those up, you can actually use them in a recipe called Squirrel Stew, which gives you 2% bonus experience. But for now, we're going to cross over this bridge and actually come to Sanctuary, or at least what's left of it. So we've discovered it, and each location we discover, we're going to get some experience. In this suitcase, there's sometimes a bobby pin here. A very high chance of it actually being there, but if not, don't worry, we can pick some up later. And just on the left here, you'll see Codsworth, who I'm going to ignore for now because I don't want to spoil the main story for you guys if you've not played it. And if we come back into our house, we can find the Grognak the Barbarian comic book. Now, there's loads of collectible comic books in the game, and this particular one is going to increase critical hits with unarmed and melee weapons by 5%. And if you collect all of these comic books, you'll get permanent buffs to your character. So let's grab that one. And then if we go into our children's bedroom, just on the right here underneath the dresser, you're going to find a Your Special book. Now, before you pick this up, listen very carefully. I'm going to pick it up just to demonstrate it. What this book does is it allows you to increase one of your attributes by 1 point. But if you actually leave it there and instead go to our perk chart, it's actually possible as you're playing the game, because there's no level cap in Fallout 4, that you can carry on leveling up your strength, perception, and so on until they reach level 10. And once they reach level 10, you can then go around the game and find these different bobbleheads for each one of your attributes. And that will then increase your strength from 10 to 11. And then once you're at 11 strength, you can come back here and pick up that special book. And that's going to allow you to increase that attribute to 12. Now, there are some other ways you can get your attributes even higher than that, but I mean, that's like a whole different video, so let's not waste your time. But just so you know, as you're running around looting things, you can actually come over here to this workshop, and if you press X on it to transfer, you can actually just press the Y button to store all of your junk inside it automatically, which can later be deconstructed. So after we've done that, you can also find a weapons workbench here, and there's even a power armor workbench, and then over here you'll find an armor workbench, and we'll be getting power armor and all of that good stuff in a moment. We're going to ignore this yellow house with a few enemies in, and we're going to come between this bush where there's a blue house just here. And behind this blue house, you're going to find a hidden cellar. You can see I'm standing just over here. That's where the entrance to this cellar is located. Before we go inside though, we want to go up this tree because it's actually a hidden military duffel bag if you can pass the test of climbing that tree without falling down. And inside you're going to find a bunch of ammo, and then we're going to go into the root cellar itself. Now this room can actually be used as a player home. The storage in here doesn't respawn, so you can safely store items in the different containers without ever losing them. And if you also sleep in the bed for an hour, you'll get a secret well-rested buff, which gives you a 10% experience boost for 8 in-game hours. Once it runs out, you can just go and sleep in another bed for an hour. But if you're playing on survival mode, you'll also get +2 to your endurance and agility stats, but you will need to sleep for 7 hours instead of just 1. And there's some 45 ammunition, which we're definitely going to need, more food, and most importantly, there's some golden bars. One on the safe, one under the shelf, and then another one hidden under the shelf just there. Now the golden bar is stored in the junk section of your inventory, but it is worth 450 caps. And we can trade this to a certain merchant to get a very useful legendary weapon very early on in the game. The higher your charisma, the higher you'll be able to sell it for though. I'd recommend leaving the other two here for now and not carrying them with you. You'll also find a safe which you won't be able to unlock yet unless you've put 1 point in the locksmithing perk, which is definitely worth doing in Fallout 4. And a first aid pack with some water and stim packs. And then we can head back. Now from the root cellar and that fallen down log we climbed up, we're going to turn around and we're going to head directly east through these trees here. You're going to see a massive lake. I mean, you literally cannot miss the giant lake in front of you. And right here, we're going to find a very useful early melee weapon. It should be in a boat that's along the shore here. So in this boat, we can find a cooler with 2 Nuka-Cola and a combat knife just here. Now the security baton you found in the vault has a damage of 16, but only a medium swing speed. The combat knife does 13 damage, but actually attacks twice as fast almost. So in the end, you end up with a much faster damage per second by using it. So from that boat, we're going to turn and go to the north and just across the shore there. And you probably don't want to do this on survival mode because you will get a bunch of radiation by swimming in the water. But on the other side, you're going to find some more blood leaves. And then just here in a suitcase, you're going to find a raider armor set. So we're going to go ahead and take all of this and see the leather left leg and right leg. So this has kitted us out with a little bit of armor. So after you've looted that suitcase, we're then going to run around the lake to the left here. Just keep running around the lake until you get to the other side. You can see Sanctuary over there to the west. And now we're going to head directly east up this little hill here. And on the map, you should see like these 3 broken cars on top of each other. This is going to lead us to the scrapyard. We went from Sanctuary all the way over here on the map to the robotic disposal ground. And again, we're going to get experience for discovering the robotics disposal ground. So named because there is a deactivated sentry bot, which we can reactivate. But first, let's loot the fusion core out of this trunk. After you've looted this trunk, if you actually come around this broken car here, you'll find a Fatman mini nuke launcher. As you can see, it does 468 damage per hit. It's the most powerful weapon. Ammo is very limited. But fortunately, there are some ammo close by. But beyond that, it's worth selling because it's got a value of 500 caps. Now, before you activate it, you're going to want to run over to the other side of the scrapyard. And just on the exit on the other side where these tires are to the left, you'll find another hidden mini nuke. You have to like walk on it like that and then you can pick it up. Now if we turn around again, we can go inside this concrete building here. So let's open the door here. And just to our left, there's some more first aid and we'll find a weapons workbench and a hot rodder magazine. Now, some of the magazines you can pick up the game are like custom paint job and appearances for your weapons and armor. So we're going to take that, and then on this terminal, you have an option here that says play tape, or you can use the option on the bottom of the screen that says eject holotape. We've then got the holotape and grab the stim pack on the shelf here. And then if we head back outside, we can check out this sentry bot. If we go to our inventory and navigate to miscellaneous, play the Combat Sentry Proto MKIV holotape. This will then give us an option to activate the sentry bot. Now, after you've activated the sentry bot, you'll now have a choice. You can either use the sentry bot to go and take out different locations on the map, like that satellite dish, or you can destroy the sentry bot and you'll get 2 fusion cores. So if we go ahead and load up the holotape again, now have an option to either deactivate it, engage the defense protocol, and if you click on this, you'll then get a list of different locations. The one with the satellite dish is USAF Olivia. Now, if you choose this option, the sentry bot will be deployed to the chosen location, and it will literally destroy everything it finds along the way. After reaching the location, it will then start killing everything in the outside area, and when it's done, it will come back to the scrapyard for its next mission. Now, you won't get any experience for what it kills, and if you're not actually following it, there is a chance that it will just despawn and disappear along the way. Personally though, I'm going to go ahead and initiate a self-destruct and say, yes, I am sure I want to do that. And then you're going to want to stand back because this thing is about to blow itself sky high. And now it's dead. And after you do that, a bunch of mole rats will spawn, so you're going to have to go ahead and take them out. But you'll then be able to loot the sentry bot, the 2 fusion cores. Now, you might be wondering what we're going to do with those fusion cores, and if we actually come back outside of this location and walk across the road, you're going to walk towards the satellite dish I pointed out earlier, and right in front of you, you'll see a crashed Brotherhood of Steeled Vertibird and some power armor. It's a T45 armor set, and if you actually grab this power armor, it will respawn later with higher level gear on it. So using our 3 fusion cores, we can just go ahead and put 1 in the back here, and then we'll be able to jump in and operate it. So let's go ahead and enter it. Even though this armor looks rusty, the T45 armor is actually at full durability. So now what we can do is turn around and we can check out the Brotherhood of Steel Vertibird. If we hop inside here and then actually climb up on the top, you can see there's a brown flight helmet which you can grab, and that can be equipped to protect our head. We'll be able to get a better helmet in just a moment. Now currently we're here on the map at the power armor, but if we go southwest, we'll find the USAF Satellite Station Olivia. And from that crashed Vertibird, you can now walk directly to the east to Satellite Olivia. I mean, it's impossible to miss this location. Now, once you get to the top of the satellite area, you'll find some ammunition. And in power armor, you can also jump off without taking any damage. Next, if we head inside the bunker at this location, I'll be showing you how to get unlimited ammunition. But if you don't like exploits, just skip this part of the video using the timestamps below. But now we're going to turn the game onto very easy difficulty, then we're going to run inside, ignoring all of the enemies until we find the named boss called Ak Ak. She's got a minigun. If we defeat her and then you loot her minigun and her ammunition, you can then drop it on the floor alongside the 5mm ammo it uses. And then another raider will actually come and pick it up. And as soon as they pick it up and try and use it, if you then kill them, you'll notice that you'll get another 500 ammo every single time you do this. And this is because every time a new enemy picks up the weapon that's not held it before, it will fill the entire magazine with ammunition. Now, since a minigun takes 500 5mm rounds per magazine, the game will just carry on giving you more ammo. And you can actually do this with any weapon in the game, even the fatman. If you are doing it with the fatman though, make sure you don't let them fire the gun. You also need to make sure you actually drop ammo for the gun they pick up, or they won't use it. And melee enemies don't seem to want to pick up ranged weapons. So by doing this a few times, I managed to quadruple my minigun ammo. And we could even sell this ammo for unlimited caps if we wanted to. In this location, we're also going to find another fusion core, and if you unlock the novice blue locked door at the end, and then you go to the back of the room, you'll find this orange suitcase that has a key card within it. If you take this key card back to the main entrance, you'll then be able to access the security door there. And inside here, you can find another mini nuke on the table. And around the back here, there's a trunk with boss level treasure in. And in this dark corner, there's a hidden safe. So now from the satellite station, we're going to be heading back along the edge of the lake, just here towards Sanctuary. You can see the satellite we came from over there, and behind us is the lake with Sanctuary in the distance. And we're going to head back towards Sanctuary now. And by the way, if you sprint in power armor, you do actually consume the core's energy faster. So just bear that in mind before you constantly sprint everywhere while wearing it. So we're just going to walk along the edge of the lake here, and eventually, opposite Sanctuary in the distance there, you'll come to this pipe. And if you actually open this up, you'll see there's a circuit breaker which you can activate, which will turn off the pump, and that's going to release the pressure on the other end of it. So if we follow this pipe up the cliff here, we're going to find a secret hidden cache of caps just on the right of this yellow container. We can now open the lids, and that's going to drop cap stashes, and we'll find a body with the Snubnose 44 pistol. Now this is actually the best, excuse me sir, please get wrecked. But once upgraded, it has the highest per shot damage of pretty much any other weapon you can get in Fallout 4 until you get to Nuka World. Unfortunately though, it takes 45 caliber ammo, which is quite rare early on. You'll find a bobby pin box just here too, and there's some bobby pins in the suitcase. Now if you hop on the top here, you can also find 2 packs of Radaway, Rad-X and purified water. After you're done looting this area, just head back down to the lake. From where we found this thing, if we just continue along the shore of the lake to the left here, we'll find a little dock. And there's also a bin here, and sometimes these have decent loot. It doesn't this time. At the end of here, we're going to find a cooler with some dirty water in, which we can purify later. But underneath, we can actually see there's a first aid kit with some purified water. Now, from the dock we're standing on, if you look directly across the lake, you see that sunken boat we saw earlier. If you look between those 2 trees and then you walk directly forward into the water, we can also breathe underwater because of our suit too. And we're just going to carry on walking directly north. And eventually you'll come to this boat just here. And inside it, you're going to find a steamer trunk which has a novice lock. And if you're ever struggling, if you just exit out of lockpicking and go back into it, it actually resets how much durability your lockpick has, ensuring that it doesn't break on you. And we have 38 rounds, another 10mm pistol, frag mines. And here we are back at the dock, and now we're going to continue walking along the bank here. And if you continue walking along the bank, you'll eventually get back to Sanctuary's wooden bridge, just over here. And just across this wooden bridge, have you actually run across this wooden bridge? On the other side, you'll find a bin, and this bin always has 2 frag grenades inside it, so make sure you pick those up. Across the bridge, under this Minuteman statue, you will find some more ammunition and a randomly spawning weapon. And right in front of us from there, we have the Red Rocket gas station. This is where we're going to pick up Dogmean, and there's some really cool things you can do with him. So, he's right in front of us, just looking very lost at the Red Rocket station, and we can talk to him, and then we can invite him to come with us and be our companion. Now, if you talk to Dogmean, you'll have an option to trade with him. He'll then turn around and present you his butt cheeks. I don't know where he stores the items, but now you can deposit things inside the dog, like your really heavy fatman. Now let's say, for example, you're over encumbered, and also your companion, like Dogmean, is also over encumbered. One of the really cool things you can do with him is if I drop this minigun on the floor, and then I say to Dogmean, press A to command, and then I get these little arrows here. And if I say, hey, go and get this minigun and pick it up, and put it in your inventory, even though he's over encumbered, he'll be able to pick that up and carry it over his carrying capacity. And that actually works with every single companion, not just Dogmean. But one of the unique things about Dogmean is that he actually works with the Lone Wanderer perk. When adventuring without a companion, you take 15% less damage and increase your carry weight by 50. Now, Dogmean doesn't count as a companion. To take 30% less damage and have 100 more carry weight, and do 25% more damage yourself, and even get 25 additional action points once it's maxed out. Now, sometimes it will say that Dogmean found something, and it'll actually go and pick up useful items like this stim pack he just found and give it to you. And if you come out the back of the Red Rocket truck stop and come where all these danger sort of construction signs are, you'll find just here that there's a hidden cave leading you underneath the shop. I've brought a shotgun down here to deal with the mole rats. You can see them at the back here, so let's go and take them out. Get wrecked, son. Oh, there you go. Dogmeat's absolutely deleted him. Once the mole rats are dealt with, you can actually come right to the back here and you'll find yourself a 4th fusion core. If you carry on going into this cave, you're going to find another mole rat to delete, and there's also a locked safe. And don't forget, just behind the red rocket station, you're going to find this cooking setup. Here you can make purified water if you get free dirty water. You can also cook those mole rat chunks, which gives you plus 5 AP for 15 minutes, and it also heals you for 50 HP. Now from the red rocket station, if you turn around and look in the distance there to the south, there's a big water cooling tower. Run over to the base of this, and right at the bottom you'll find a first aid kit with stim packs and 1, 2, 3, 4 purified water. And then just over here where Dogmeat's running, very close by, you're going to find a hidden steamer trunk with more bottle caps and ammunition. So from the water tower, if you head north, you can actually see Sanctuary directly in the distance there. And there's a safe just in front of this tree. It has even more ammo for your 10mm pistol, and tons of stim packs are inside it. So make sure you grab those. Now from the wooden bridge at Sanctuary, we're actually going to go to the left here. You can see that Sanctuary's bridge just there. And if I turn around and head west, I'm going to reach what is a old Brotherhood of Steel or military vessel of some kind. Now, you're going to want to have power armor for this because there's loads of radiation around it. You can also pop some Rad-X, which gives you 100 radiation resistance. This is kind of what it's for if you're going to go for a swim in irradiated water. Just here, you can find the army helmet. So we're going to pick that up, and we can also pick up the stim pack and first aid. Army helmet actually has 10 damage resistance, which is really, really good. We can later replace it with combat armor, which I will have a guide on how to get early linked in the description below. Next, I'm going to be showing you guys how to get the legendary weapon called the Cryolator, a unique item that freezes enemies with its frost flamethrower ability, and fast travel all the way here back to Vault 111. So now you're going to have to get out of your power armor. You're then going to have to open up your Pip-Boy and make sure that on your apparel you're not wearing any clothes. Make sure you have your Vault suit equipped. Make sure Dogmeat is following you. Don't command him or anything though, just let him do his own thing. And then we're going to go to the control panel in here, and we're going to activate the Vault button. That's going to start the buzzer beeping, and if we just stand in the middle, it will then transport you into the vault. And then Dogmeat will actually load into the vault with you. If you don't take off your other items and have your vault suit equipped, for some reason there's this bug where he just won't load into the game. It's been an issue for like 8 years now, but here we are. Anyway, we're going to head into the vault, and we're going to take a left. And then we're going to follow this corridor all the way down. It's a linear corridor, and eventually we'll come back into the Overseer's office just here. Now inside this caged room, you're going to have the Cryolator case. This is a master locked case, and there's no way to open it this early on at level 1 unless you have Dogmeat with you, and of course we do. So what we're going to do is we're going to command Dogmeat. So we'll get him to go and stand in that room. Then going to shut the door, and then we're going to say, talk to him and say fetch, and then say you want to find items. And it says that he's found something, which is the closest item nearby. And there you go, he's picked up the Cryolator for us, and we didn't even need to unlock the master lock. So now if we trade with him, we can then navigate to weapons, and as you can see, he's holding the Cryolator. And if we pick it off him, we then pick up that legendary weapon. One of the interesting things about the Cryolator is that you can upgrade it without having any skills in crafting. The crystallizing barrel doubles its damage, the compensating stock reduces recoil, and you can also change the sights. Now at the start of the video, I mentioned an awesome power leveling method that you guys can use to level up really quickly before you even leave the starting area of Sanctuary. Up to you whether or not you use it, but let me show you how it's done. And if you ever leave your power armor around, you're actually going to want to make sure you remove the fusion core from it. Otherwise, later when there's a settlement, other settlers can get in your power armor and start walking around, and you won't be able to use it or get them out of it. You can also customize the appearance of your power armor at the power armor rack, and using that magazine I showed you how to get earlier. If you hold down the select button, you will be able to enter deconstruction mode. And here you'll be able to scrap things like barrels to get steel and also branches to get wood. So you're going to want to run around and do this because there's a very easy way to level up. If you pretty much scrap everything, you'll be able to get 3,000 wood by scrapping everything in the area as well as lots of steel. Now if you go to your settlement's workshop and you press A on it, you can then go to furniture, and then if you scroll to the right, you'll find shelves. Now shelves are really interesting because they require very few materials to make. And we have steel shelves and wooden shelves. These are the most common materials in the game. You can even buy shipments of wood and steel from different merchants to get unlimited of each material. But let's use the steel shelves for this example. I'm going to come around the back of the house here. And the nice thing about these shelves is that you can put them on the wall and they actually stack on top of each other. And you'll also notice that I'm getting experience for each shelf I build. So if I just stand here and keep pressing the A button, I'm just going to get tons and tons of experience, and eventually it will level up my character. Now you're thinking, oh look, you're running out of steel, which is absolutely fine because once you run out of steel, you can then press X to scrap it and you get half the materials back. So you just stand here and you press X to scrap all of the shelves that you just built. You can also install the scrap all feature, which is much faster. Now, if you invest more points into intelligence, you actually increase the experience gain even more. Once you have 10 intelligence, each one of these shelves is going to give you 3 experience each. And we've leveled up again. We're now level 4. And this is one of the fastest ways to level up early on in the game, but it's very boring and it kind of ruins the actual gameplay, so I wouldn't really recommend it. But if you played the game before, you know, why not take advantage of this? Now if you're wondering what to do next, I would recommend continuing the main quest by heading over to Concord, which is located southeast down the road from Sanctuary. Once here you'll meet the Minutemen faction. Now funnily enough, if you kill the raiders here and show up already in power armor and with a minigun, there will be some secret dialogue options that unlock for you. On the roof, you'll also get a full set of T45 power armor to replace your own, as well as another minigun. After this, the next best armor set to get is the combat armor. You can watch this video guide over here if you want to grab that for yourself. But do leave a like on this one if it was helpful.